It is working. Yeah. Oh my god. We we basically are live. We want live. This is this is an incredible event, basically, because now for real we're live, and now for real also. Uh, I don't really know what to say. I'm alive, so I can say. I'm kind of tired, so yeah. Not tired in the sense. No, I say it so much already. I kind of sleep poorly, not badly, poorly. Therefore, I ended up having less rest than what I expected, but really less. At the very least, I hope whoever watches the both and whoever was there also has a great moment. What the fuck what are you doing here, Pizza? What? Welcome. Hello. What? What are you doing here so early? Welcome. Um, Basically that we here we are now. Um, Basically back to the track of the routinary mental training. What I think more than anything else, what happened really lives, so to speak, the part of, you know, really being more than anything else, the, the real enjoyment of things. At the end of the day, really enjoying that is never something bad. And even more because, in a sense, it feels weird to say it, but it is very true that when you and those who are around you have the possibility of getting together to speak about the things that you really, so to speak, not that you find interesting, but rather doing it because it feels refreshing is by itself interesting, and more so when the possibility itself of letting go of the things that are also part of, so to speak, the, the most worrisome things and being, in a sense, even if from the outside it might not seem that much, you sometimes really carry a lot of worriness and really taking a very spirited aim toward this ends up giving you not much more, but yes, a little bit more of liberation than what you would expect, basically. But at the same time, mm, it was beautiful. Yet now we shall go back to our mental space. Yes, we shall go back. It isn't because one thing negates the other, it is rather one thing completely complements the other. When you have the possibility, you yourself, of taking, so to speak, a break, why not? More than anything else. Also, I think specifically this week, we haven't gone for a lot of probably mm, intense, so to speak, real, not real, intense content, be it real or not, intense content. So that's why it feels good to have the possibility to be liberated in a sense from all of that weight. But well, now we were back to this. We, I guess it will be good to say it. I am going to try once again today specifically to go for Baja second stream, and third stream will be once again a list. Even more, I am trying. I never said it, but one of the few reasons as to why this particular week I am going so hard toward this goal is I also want to see if I can not only commit to it, but output as much lists in general as I can. Think that I haven't been doing too much. Like I think I haven't forgetting like half of the time. Um, well, in particular, it comes also from the side of me who got kind of worried unnecessarily about creating too much of that. But I mean, we're very fine. We are at the end of the day very fine. So yes, the the show must go on basically. And well, we're very fine. The only actual in this present moment problem is I might be more sleepy than what I expected. Therefore, I have a hard time not only speaking, also thinking about anything to say and such. But aside from that, we are fine. I mean, kind of hard to be bad when you have a great time doing whatever. So yeah, we are very very fine. And well, I mean, aside from what happened yesterday, um, I guess today I will really try to celebrate the. Yeah, I forgot about it. Fuck. I have to celebrate the new microphone. I think that was very very expected, but yet I didn't put the work to make it as something special. So yeah, we will have that. Also, I forgot particularly now to check how the audio is. Wait a second. Do we have no? Okay, no desktop audio. Let me see. Is this okay? Yeah, it is okay. It is okay. So basically, that we are going to see what ends up happening. More than anything else, it feels very good because, so to speak, you always have the existing things, and you have also then not only the necessities, the desires always going on in the background. So when you combine every single part of this to create something that not only you but probably others might as well really enjoy, the possibility of making it a reality feels very great. So basically, a long week of enjoyment it is turning up to be. I the first yeah I thought about it since Monday. Monday it felt like it might have been too much. Yesterday it went from feeling like it was too much to okay at the very least I will try to commit personally. And now seeing that everything can go correctly, it might as well not only be something that I can do and I should do, but also might as well be enjoyable to see happen. So we will have a lot of things going on. Um, yeah, the only I wouldn't say actual preoccupation that I have, but existing one is or most present one that might as well swap from a preoccupation to a real occupation is I need to get proper sleep a little bit. I I have been slacking and even more because the times in which I schedule my streams are commonly times in which I also might as well have tried to go to bed earlier or try to take a nap. So it feels kind of weird to be not to be to see that I can still function properly without them. So yeah, we are very good and we are even greater compared to what I ever expected. And also we have a lot more of things to go over than at the same time I ever foresee. So basically that we are very happy and we are very very fine in general, whatever it is. So aside from that particular thing and aside from as I have been saying what happened, I think now it's kind of a good time as always to remember that it, it still has been a long way and it still has been, so to speak, a collection of single efforts that end up adding up to right now 124 days of streaming. Um, and well, quote unquote days, more than that 124 streams themselves. So yes, it feels very beautiful to see that, and more than anything else, also to see that it is working by itself. Because one will tend to forget that things are going fine when you do not really have in your mind how fine they are going. And I mean, personally, I wouldn't like to be so heavy, but at the same time, or not so heavy, so dense about it. But yesterday we had a great time, yet we went with kind of a chatty mood and a very jolly mood, as one would say. So it was beautiful that happened. And the only thing I would have liked to do more was probably to have more takes that might as well be interesting. But at the same time, it isn't that it didn't happen, and it isn't that I didn't do that part, so to speak. It is only that I might as well have paid attention to what I was saying. And from the outsider perspective, while I am still analyzing myself, it feels weird to see sometimes that the things I say might as well be more interesting than what I ever expected them to be. So that is why it ends up being a hardship to point out a specific great moments and a specific, yeah, interesting ideas that I touch on, even more when I am completely scriptless, because it, yes, when I say, for example, literally the same that happens with the Mahabharata in that sense, when there are so many convoluted words, all of them grouped up in one single, so to speak, place, and not convoluted words, as is, rather, let's give it a number. When there are easily 3,000 words in one place, even if two or three of those words make sense, you will tend to forget that these interesting words exist in the whole sea of different convoluted and might as well not even interesting things that are said. So yes, mm, yeah, I guess at the end of the day also it has a very clear reason as to why it happened yesterday. People, from my personal point of view, it is always good to try and not, so to speak, pressure others to take an approach like what we tend to take here. At the same time, even if somebody might seem willing, even more in the situations that they were, if you're tired, it is better to not really push yourself. It is okay to do it, yes, but it is you who should find that, not desire, that attraction toward pushing yourself. If others were to do it, they might as well end up breaking you in a bad way, because nobody really knows what your own limits are. And that is the beautiful side of this. But well, I mean, we're pretty fine still. So give me a second. 30s. I had to blow my nose, but we're fine. We are back basically. Mm, But well, basically that. We it was more beautiful than what one could have ever expected. So it felt great. Um, I mean, on the particular side, also the reality that is to spend time doing something so jolly always also gives you the refreshments, at least on my personal side, the refreshment that you might not get from doing this. And not in a sense because this is boring, but rather because you cannot expect to get, so to speak, in terms of food, you cannot expect to get enough proteins from eating only rice. The same thing applies. You cannot expect to get that much fiber and that much, so to speak, calories from eating only beef. So yeah, basically a whole diet, in a sense of um, things that happen here. So yes, very very good, very well. Well, I think it might as well have been interesting to say it. So I might as well go forward with that. I also have been talking with one of my groups. They ended up finally learning something that I said before. I have been doing this very, very, in a sense, alone, because those who were close to me never have known what I was doing. And yesterday, I finally opened up, or was given the possibility to open up. So it feels great to see, and more than anything else, to know that probably they will end up somehow purchased by some random lucky occurrence coming here. But yet, if that is true, we also do not know. And also, it is a reality that I should try to see and try to be, as always, prepare for it. In just in case, I do not think, in particular, those guys would like to fucking troll me so much. But you never know. So yeah, basically that. And also because it isn't that the trolling itself is bad, it is a rather what, in a sense, what I have shown here is a very redeemed version of myself, who I was 3, 4 years ago, and even more with those people. Might as well be someone completely different from what we're expect here to see and to find. So yeah, I mean, very personal stuff. Aside from that, I have been trying to do my best to keep progressing on my other studies and all of that. Personally, I am having not some real problems, but rather some encounters with things that I have been slacking on because other things also start to pile up. So to speak, mm, the incredible amount of content that it is out there, as we have kind of said before, is baffling. In my particular case, it isn't that I suffer what was it? Option paralysis, choice paralysis. It isn't that I have a problem with that in particular, but rather because I am already doing so many stuff, adding even more things to that feels, in a sense, overwhelming. And it isn't that it really is overwhelming. More so when you realize and when you have in mind, so to speak, that you could have a great time doing whatever as long as you're enjoying it, a particular point of view. So yeah, I guess I'm trying to, what I am really trying to say is, we will see probably what will happen. The only actual thing that I can completely say will happen, as I said, like at this point 20 times also, is we're going to start the study sessions, and probably taking into account that I already defined this evening to be Mahabharata and this night to be the celebration of the new microphone arrival. Aside from those two streams that are already defined, probably if everything goes well and I organize myself more than anything else, tomorrow we're going to go for the, so to speak, reading and analyzing, no, not reading, the analyzing of the course that we were going to take. Well, I mean, very grateful for everything. Very, very, very good in almost every area. And in those that are still lacking a little bit, I am completely outperforming what was in the past, so I cannot really complain in general. And I mean, we're very fine. We're very fine. Basically, that is the message itself. We are very fine. So, beautifulness in everything, and more so even enjoyment on the particular things that happen here. So basically, that I mean, I don't know. Let me try to change a little bit the topic because it might as well feel redundant at this point. So, give me a second. Okay, okay. let me take it from here. I personally, tonight, I think I didn't have any dreams at all that were that meaningful. The only thing that I really feels weird is always to know that even if I don't have completely meaningful dreams, every single one of them end up shaking me to the core, so to speak. They are not completely full of ideas that I have to take out and I have to process in a sense, but at the same time, they are not so tame as to say they literally do not mean anything. It is kind of the opposite. Almost because almost every day these past times has been full of things that maybe because I force it in a sense are interesting to analyze and have an interest outlook on reality itself. Because all of this happens, it also feels great and end up kind of diluting the possibility of really saying, okay, this one was meaningful. Because at the end of the day, right now, personal note, every single one of them feels great. That is why I kind of didn't realize it before, but yes, it, even what I had yesterday slash this past night was amazing. I mean, in general, it was. Let me remember a little bit. Yeah, in general, noticing and having the possibility of going through a lake of memories in which you have always the active role of someone. In my personal case, I do not know where it came from, and I wouldn't say that I have the complete control, but it was somebody who wasn't showing the wholeness of the dream. Because that happened, it feels great, and more so because, in a sense, it always feels like as long as you try to make it a reality, it will keep happening. So that is why, in my particular case, I really lastly have enjoying sleep. And at, at the very least, as I kind of said it before, it isn't that I enjoy it in the sense of, what, I will be sleeping the whole time. Because I went through a lot of phases in that particular area, and one of them was really one in which I found interest really on sleeping the most, but rather because as an individual, I decided and I disregarded my reality in a sense, and it really felt like a form of escapism. Therefore, it was good to see myself advancing so much right now in this particular area. More than anything else, because why wouldn't it be great? Why wouldn't it be feel great? More so because, as I said before, I like dreaming, and it does not have that connotation of I am searching for every opportunity to dream. It is in reality. I like when it happens, and if it doesn't happen, I do not even worry. Or if I do not even have the possibility of remembering what I dreamt about, I also do not even use my mind on that. So yes, yeah, we're pretty fine. I mean, more than what I ever expected, and at the same time, less than what we could ever get as long as we keep going. So basically, the whole cultivation path might as well keep existing and keep happening as long as we have the fuel for it, and as long as we do not surrender in searching that as as a thing, we might as well keep going. And I mean, also, not only that, on the other hand, it has a lot of inner things. That particular idea, and that is, for example, having always the possibility of what? Ropo, yeah, I am Ropo. Quiero, quiero, well, I think it is a great moment for me to try and blow once again my nose, so I don't have a tissue here. Fuck. Is it really something that it is happening? That no, here it is. Here I have one. This is beautiful. I was completely prepared for this occasion, so give me a second. Give me a second. there it is beautiful. We're back. So, well, as I was trying to say, um, I mean, in general, we're much more well than what I ever expected, and at the same time, in also it happens to be partially or mostly true that we are going for a lot of things that in general end up adding more. Mm, yeah, I guess it always carries that other side of the gun, and that is it feels sad sometimes to realize that if the other side is not willing, the advancements that we do in this particular case will always be missed, so to speak, on one side, but in the other, it, it is always more positive and always more beautiful to say, as long as you're willing to become better, it will happen. And that positive message right now is the main idea that we are going for here. At the end of the day, if you try to attack somebody, it really does not bring anything at all to you. And even more in this space that we are trying to create, why would we take an offensive stance against anybody? There is no real reason to do that. And even more so, the reality itself of enjoying things that we are doing, because the rewards that they give and also the experiences themselves might be rewarding is more beautiful than to be constantly preoccupied by minor elements of life and minor completely unchangeable aspects that end up happening to everybody and in the long or in the short run, because at the same time you really notice and you really see that it is a constant event that you will see somebody do something, so to speak, without they really noticing that they are kind of getting overwhelmed, not by the actions themselves, but by the outlook that they have on those actions. And also, welcome, Rosman. Let me drink water. What a beautiful water. But well, aside from that, I don't know. We, basically we're having a lot of things to work, and I mean, particularly in yeah, particular note. In my case, I am trying to not drift so much on hard things to comprehend, even if it by themselves sometimes they are really hard. I accept that it is a possibility, but also trying to make it an easy road to speak, so to speak, okay, an easy road as possible for others to also try and embark more than anything else in the outlook of people. This is a content that will end up being, as long as internet exists, being there for an eternity. Therefore, if you negate the reality of somebody in X amount of years will come here and will, because of a random interest, start watching from the first stream to, I don't know, to the 3000 and something that we will end up being on. If that happens, it might as well be good to have a road that is as easy as possible to walk on. At the end of the day, if you forget that also in the future the things that you did in the past will still have an effect on others, it really lose a lot of meaning. Because yes, in a sense, what we are doing here is beautiful and what we are doing here is for the present us. Yes, but also if you lose from your mind the reality that it not only has a ripple effect, let's say, on the future and might as well impact those who are in the past of the future, so to speak, you let go of a very important part of that wholeness. And I mean, yeah, moving on to something different. I have been really trying to get a new word and something different than wholeness because I I heard it too much lately, in a sense, and wholeness does not encompass the whole sense of what it really means. Because at the end of the day, it isn't that. you are reaching a holiness and you're approximating a state in which you are like, no, 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 no. It is in reality like what we discussed before, the idea of everything is interconnected. Basically, that. Mm, the okay, no, no, no. I was going to say the approachability of every single thing in life, but at the same time, it doesn't fit that definition well. I guess in that sense, I will really have to spend some time finding something that really is interesting to, or not interesting, meaningful enough to replace the other, mean, the other lay outdated meaning. Because yes, if the message is as easy as possible to understand, it might as well be beautiful to also understand. So yeah, we are basically very fine, very fine. It only needs some work, but doing the work itself also feels great. So no real problem. And well, I mean, basically that's it. I guess I will need to analyze it, and I will need to find something real there. But it is my thing to do, not real words. Let me drink some water. Well, I mean, moving on to something that I really wanted to talk about, not specifically here, but before, and that I might as well keep processing is we were discussing with my friends. The, sometimes it really feels kind of weird to see that you yourself, as long as you do not show others your interest in opening up, so to speak, nobody else will really get you to open up because it is kind of and kind of not related to the idea of nobody but you can help yourself. Yes and no, because it has to deal more, I think, in that sense, with personal boundaries that we set with others. And at the end of the day, even more when you respect, yeah, yeah, when you respect somebody who is outside of your personal mind, so to speak, and somebody who you are really connected with, when you respect that person, you try your best to not lose your connections with them. And even if sometimes you have the idea that trying to discuss, trying to address, trying to go over something in particular could be good, even if that is true, it also is true that the fear itself of losing that person, because in a sense we really lack the tools and we lack the whole comprehension of the situation itself to really give others those tools in a proper manner ends up being heavier than the desire itself of helping those who we have close and those who we want to help. But I mean, from that perspective, it will be more useful to keep working and to keep finding different tools than to simply isolate oneself from the idea and from the possibility that is of being somebody who is there for others. Because at the end of the day, even more when you go through something that really shows you how much beauty it has to be accompanied in your experiences, when you have that, in one hand you also see that giving it and providing that for others is also incredible. Because more so when you do it with the idea in mind of giving them a great time, more so when that happens, you really also start to focus on the idea of, you know what, I will dedicate my time as much as I can to the other side, not only to my experience, because I might as well end up having more enjoyment if I see the other side also enjoying this. So yes, in that sense, I think it is more meaningful to try and to create, to adapt, to find and to utilize properly those tools than to keep overworrying oneself. At the end of the day, I think it kind of is the same. Yeah, it kind of is the same as what we have been discussing. On one side, you think you don't have the possibility of developing anything really helpful for others on one side, and on the other, the reality of not even realizing how much your simple intention might change other people's experiences might really be something that is also truly worthy of your observation more than anything else, because it gives you a real possibility of changing the outcome itself. In, not in the sense of because you're an active observer, the result ends up changing, but rather because you're an observer and because you're someone who could also interfere with the whole process. That is why it ends up being so much more rewarding when you put your mind towards that. I do not really know. I do not completely know, but yes, basically that. So I don't really know what else to add. I know, yeah, yeah, I know what else to say. Ads starting soon. Let me let me blow my nose meanwhile. Okay, we're back. Okay, I forgot to talk about something interesting, and that is uh, nothing really deep. This microphone that I have, I think it is a problem because if I make a sound that is loud enough, it somehow increases or decreases the volume of my earphones. I don't know why, but it does that. So, okay, I don't really know what really else to say. It is funny to see that, for example, if I were to really blow hard into the microphone itself, it will increase the volume. And, and I did so without knowing that it was going to happen. And I ended up kind of getting deaf for some seconds because it isn't that it increases the sound a little bit, it makes the sound go like 10 or 20% higher. And if I usually don't have my headphones really loud, when it does that, I really get surprised. And I say it because I I let the microphone itself rest, and it happened once again. So events that happen in life, I think I don't really know what to say. Randomness, probably complete randomness that is often something that might as well happen without me really having a control over that. But well, aside from that, going back to the mental space, in a second. Um, I don't know. I have a lot of things to pull out, but it always feels okay. Let me go for that. It always feels kind of weird to see that oneself decides to limit how much you explore. In a sense, it isn't that the exploration itself will break you or will have a hard time on your wholeness, so to speak, in the sense of you are not really going to not enjoy exploring things. Therefore, it is kind of meaningless to say, you know what, I shouldn't overexert myself and I, I shouldn't analyze so much. At the end of the day, in par- particular place we are and particular approach that I take on things, I do not end up having bad results and I do not also end up having bad ideas in that sense. So it is more like I will say, a bias that I have and a bias that I carry with myself without really needing that in my life. It comes more like from an older, yeah, from an older concept of you might as well lose yourself when you are doing that. And in this particular case, as I have even accepted before, the act itself of losing oneself in sometimes is greater than to keep being who you were in the past. As long as you advance in a way in which you also notice the advancement itself is rewarding for you, it shouldn't be really worrisome to let go of the, the past and the older ideas that you carry with yourself. I guess it comes more than anything else. In my particular case, on one hand, from the idea of, you know what, I might as well lose some people that might hold dear to me on one side, and on the other, it also happens that, you know what, I do not completely have the desire to keep working so much on this when, yeah, a falsehood basically. It will inevitably happen, and in reality, this particular project, as long as you do the work of who you are, you yourself will not change for the better out of nowhere without really any effort on your end, basically. So I guess it comes also from the side of you should really try to become not only better but also more more happy. At the end of the day, it also is this whole project that being happier in life and having more things to have at hand, to have a good time. Because as we have already kind of established before, life itself won't be simple, and life itself won't be not only easy but also not something that you will enjoy by itself. There will be moments that are going to be enjoyable, and there will be moments that are going to be painful. And it is in those both times in which, if you have the tools at hand, you can extract even more from the good side of the happy things and distract, no, not distract, sorry, avoid the despair that ends up coming from the painful experiences in life. So basically that. I think, yeah, I think even if from an outsider perspective it seems weird, it still is great, and it still has a lot more than what I could have personally ever expected to it. So I mean, noises, noises, happiness, and keep working on the things that you already know you should start to work on. At the end of the day, everybody is kind of aware about what you should be doing, and as long as you have an awareness on those things, you might as well be slowly working on those. And I guess yes, in this particular case, an idea that also likes to touch on regularly is how much, even if you're aware of the things that you have to do, therefore you know, and you kind of work for those things, you are still really achieving anything. Because I think, yeah, it doesn't only come from the awareness itself, I will guess, that you progress on those things. It also comes from the intention. Because I don't really know. I think in that sense, it might be yeah, as much as you can be aware of the things that really happen in your life, and not in the sense of simply knowing the concept itself, but rather having a deep understanding of every single part of that. As long as you have that going on, and as long as you also in yourself carry as much as you can of the comprehension of the things that happen to you, you really also find it to be important to work on the things that are pending. Because in the sense of, yeah, in the sense of, if you do not really have a fear of despair and a fear of losing things because you're not doing what is a priority in your mind, because in that same sense, you also do not completely comprehend how much of an awful dawn things could take when you do not work on those things. As long as you do not comprehend that, you might as well not even be progressing. But at the same time, in this particular area even more, it is only you yourself who will comprehend those things. Even if you read 10,000 books, even if you spend your next 10 years working on who you are, and even if you tag with as many gurus and as many um, for efficient targets and as many motivators, as many people as you wanted to get an outlook positive on life. As long as you yourself, for example, did not understand that life could take a good turn and a turn for the better, as long as you didn't do it, nobody could really show it to you. Because even more, the mind, the ideas that we have and the ideas that we accept as true end up really shaping how we let other things affect us in that sense. Therefore, if you do not take the time to see what is really hurting you, or yeah, basically, what is really becoming a predatory tool in your own experience through life, you might as well not completely never realize, but not completely unveil, let's say like that, how much you could really be working on those other things. And I mean, what we said before, the positive always is because the possibilities also always there. It feels amazing to know that, and it feels beautiful to see that as the instant you start working on those things, they start to get solved. Anyways, hello, Mark. Hello. Good, good morning from my side of the world. Good morning. Um, we have we sorry we so far have been talking about a lot of things. So lastly, we were kind of on the development side of oneself. So I don't really know what to say. And also, hello, Shane. Hello, welcome, welcome. And as always, I don't know. Also, if you have any question, I might as well go over it. Yeah, sorry for not saying it earlier. If anybody has a question, we might as well go over that. This particular space, even more, is completely fine with that. It isn't that whenever I am streaming, you can ask anything. It is rather that even more in this particular moment, where we're literally open to whatever it comes for to us, we might deal with that. So yes, basically that. On the other side, we have been talking a lot. Basically, we went over specific topic names. I guess would be we talked a little bit about self-actualization for the sake of it, and the comprehension more on the side of how much when you are willing to do that, it really impacts you a little bit over that. So the side of enjoying things more because yes, we have a lot of enjoyment and reminding oneself why enjoying things is good, also is good itself. In my case, so yeah, we went over a lot of things. So now I was also doing a little bit of time because I wanted to search for a new idea or something. But I mean, we are fine. We're fine. So far, we're really fine. We well, I do not really have anything in mind that is that much of a question right now. I guess, well, no, yeah, I don't really have that much to say so far. Um, we have been going over a lot of things, and at the pace at which we have been doing that feels rewarding enough so that I do not really feel the necessity of saying, you know what, if I do not talk about these specific things, and if I do not go over these particular topics, I will be losing my time. So yeah, I guess it feels beautiful to see that happen in my particular case. Mm, and I guess the only other thing I will say is please, if you have the possibility of doing that, you might as well do it. In reality, I guess, yeah, the problem is we tend to go back to the same points. Because in this case, if you never understand how much of an importance it has in your life to do the things that you want, mm, and not the things that you want for the sake of fulfillment of a desire, but the things that you know are going to be helpful for your own life, as long as you do not have a complete understanding of those ideas, and as long as you do not also find it to be rewarding enough, you will keep yourself from doing them. Because the fear itself of doing them is bigger than the act of acting upon them, so to speak. If that makes any sense. So yeah, basically a lot of things going on. And as always, it is an enjoyment to think about things in this particular area because there is never almost a real problem or analyzing stuff. I guess, well, yeah, in a sense, it also carries a little bit of a lie. There are topics that I am very willing to touch on, and I know I should do it more so because it will be, in my own case, a liberation. But even if I know that is true, I don't know if it is a, a truth or a falsehood because I think it from this way. Even if that is good for me, embedding the whole message so much in who I am might as well make it harder for anybody to really extract anything. At the end of the day, when a message is good enough, nothing else really matters. And when you make that message so hard to comprehend, it really only takes out from those who are around you. It does not, yeah, it does not make anything easier. And sometimes, I would say like this, when an individual takes to kind of confuse themselves with the amount of participation that they should have on the act of giving this message to others, they might as well never comprehend completely how important it is to not taint the message itself. At the end of the day, we tend to relate to others when they give us their personal experiences, yes, but if 50% of more or more of what we are learning is literally personal experience from personal experience from personal experience, it might as well not be that useful for anybody because it ends up having too much completely unique to the particular individual who is talking about the personal experiences. Think that makes, yeah, end up making it completely hard for everybody to go over those ideas without really finding those disturbances to be a blockage on the way of comprehending anything at all. So I guess, um, well, I don't know how much I have been going on. Let me see. Are we on the 50-minute mark? Because I want to, yeah, basically that. That's the whole for today. We might as well raise somebody because at least for this morning we are done. We are completely done. I want to go and eat something because I am a little bit hungry. So as always, while I search for somebody, thanks for being here. Thanks for looking. Thanks for paying attention. Thanks for watching the world. Thanks for chatting. Thanks for every single thing. As always, if it weren't for you, this could have literally no reason at all to exist. So yes, please, not please, please, not in the sense of keep supporting. Thanks for your support. And know that it is beautiful enough so that it gives the other side also even more motivation to keep going. Never feel forced to support others, even more in this case. Only know that the enjoyment itself that it gives is beautiful enough for me to keep going. So yes. And now, as I was going to say, let us find somebody to rate. I think this guy is playing 7 days to play. Okay. Okay, let me do this. There we have it. And well, well, yeah. Well, I say, as always, thanks for everything. And let time get us once again together. Let get us, in this particular case, rare or guy called Rubber Ducky Night. Somebody who is playing 7 days to die, and somebody who is a rubber duck. Amazing. Literally became a rubber duck. Funniest skit I ever saw on internet. So yeah, um, let us depart from this and indulge a little bit on enjoyment because it never is bad. So yes, please let us also say, when time get us once again together, we might do it. But for now, it is time to live and it is time to enjoy other things. Please, as always, take care of yourself and remember to stay well. Right.